maps to this primary key. So this foreign key maps to the primary key ID of author table. Okay, primary key of author table. So it means many authors are associated with one. We can say like this. So many authors many authors are associated. Many books, we can say like this. Many books are associated with one author, right? One author has written these two books. That means many to one. That means from book to author, it is a many to one. From book to author, say many books. Book 1, book 2 are written by author 100. So many books. In this example, 1, 2 are associated with author ID 100. And now this author ID is a foreign key that maps to the primary key. That means whatever the value that is there here, that should be mapped here. Okay, now shall we create the table and see? Let us see the program. Now, okay. Okay. Now let me create a class book now. Now I'll write class book, new class. So here what I do here, okay, here I'll say entity. And then I'll say table name equal to book, right? Now here I'll have the columns. What are the columns I have put? ID, title, author. Okay. Let me create like this, ID. ID, next. Title. Next, right? That's all. Now, if you see here, from book I have to go to author, right? See, it is a unidirectional, many to one. From book I have to go to author. That means from book need to go to author, right? Now, if I know book ID 1, then author ID is picked up. author ID is obtained. Okay, now say for example, I know the book ID is 1. For this book ID, this is the author ID. Now for this author ID, I'll go and then query this table. That means for this 100, I'll go here and get the remaining details of this. Okay. So then take author ID value and query the author table for the given ID value. Okay, that means this 100 should be queried here. So if you see here, right, if you see here, that means many books are mapped to one author. So I'll have a property called author here. Private author. Because I'm going from, I want to go from book to author. So I'll go here. Okay, and then here I'll say at the rate many to 1. I'll say many to 1. Okay, that means many books are associated with one author. And now you see, now what is the join column? See, what is the join column now? From book to author, this is the join column, right? This is the join column. So I'll take this join column value and map to this value, right? So now this will be your join column. Okay, this will be your join column. So here what I'll do, here I'll put join column. Here I'll say name is equal to author underscore ID. That means this one. So this is your join column. Okay, so that means from book, go to author using this join column. That means this join column is part of this table only. Okay, this join column is part of this book table only. So your author ID is mapped to this foreign key. So this will be your join column. So here, what is your join column from 1 to 1? This is your join column, right? So take the author ID details and go to this author details. Here, take author ID details and go to this. So this is your join column, right? So okay. So let me now generate. Right. So this is your. Everyone understood till this part? Any doubts here? Any doubts here? Everyone understood this till this part? Right. So from book, I'll go to author. Okay, using this join column, and this join column is part of this book table, right? So from book, I'll go to author using this. So this is the join column that joins these two. So this is your join column present in this book table, right? So let me create the tables also. So go to book application, MySQL. Okay, show tables. Okay, use book application. show tables. So I'll create one table now, book, create table. Okay, create table book. Okay, I'll give ID, int primary key. Title, varchar of 20. Next, author ID. Okay, int, right? Then I'll say, what I'll say then? Okay, constraint, right? Should I be saying, right? I'll give name constraint, fk underscore book underscore author. Author, right? Next, foreign key, FOREIGN, foreign key of author ID. This is your foreign key. This maps to the references author ID. References author of ID. Some just create table author ID foreign key. Okay, this is missing. So secret, sorry, use what you say, book application. So show tables. So what I'll create the tables. Why again? Let me see. Show create table author. Any doubts here? Okay. Sorry. Okay, I think this bracket is missing, right? Create table book author ID constraint foreign key references. I'll just see other table. Show create table author. Let me take this table. Let me take this table. I'll say book. This I'll remove this part. Next title. I'll remove all this. I'll just put author ID. author ID, then I'll say FK, I'll say book details. Okay. Actually, this is not required. Actually, it will add automatically. We'll see. FK book details. And this will be author underscore ID. References, author of ID. Right? Right. Select a star from book. Right? So book table has been created. I'll share you the scripts also, okay, so that you'll not. Today I'll upload these notes, okay? And fine. So what I'll do in my book.java, I have this. Now can we know? Okay, so I'll just I have already the author, right? I have already the author. So I already have the author. Now I'll just save author book details. Save books, I'll say. Okay, save book. So what I'll do is I'll just let me do one thing here. Here I'll say save author and author details. Okay. I'll just say app A is equal to new app. And I'll say A dot. Then what I'll say private void. I'll just say save author details. Okay. Next I'll copy all this. Right. I'll use correct indication. Okay. Now this is what save author details. Yesterday I did all this, right? Now what I'll do is I'll just comment out this. I don't want to know this. A dot save books. So what I'll do, I'll just create one private void save books. I'll say like this. Now I'll just create this class. Sorry, create this session factory. Now this time I'll say book also. Book is also new class, right? I'll add book here. So what are the entity class that are associated with this operation? All the classes I have to associate. Okay, so now what I'll do is I'll just create two books. List string books. Okay, I'll say arrays dot as list of. I'll say programming in Java, two books I'll say. Written by same author. Next is Spring and Hibaernate. Then I'll say, okay, so now what I'll do is I'll say for book. Okay. Why? What happens? Change type of book to string. Why? Okay, this is string. Sorry. Yes. Yeah, string actually. So instead of this, I'll say book here, not here. I'll say book here. Yeah, I'll say book here. So I'll say book. Okay, list of books, right? List of books, and or string one I'll say here. String one I'll say. String I'll say here. Better to do like this. So what I'll do is I'll say book. I'll create one book object. Okay, book object, new book. Right? Then I'll say b dot set title of. I'll say this. I'll say book title. I'll just copy this here, book title. Next, I'll say book dot. Right? Now, you see here. I want to set the author. How will get the author actually? How will get the author? I want to set author object here. Already author is there, right? In my table. In my table, already author is there, ID 100. Now, I want to associate this author 100 has written these two books. That's why many to one. That's what, right? Many to one. So if you see here, this author ID 100 has written these two books. Okay, so for that, what I'll do is, first I'll get the author object here. Author is equal to, see, session dot, I'll query the author object, get of, right? I'll say author dot class. And here I'll say author ID is 100, right? So based on this primary key value, okay, see, based on this primary key value, this is a primary key, I'll get the author object. So I can use session dot get, right? We have seen that session dot get, based on the primary key value, you get the author object. Now I want to associate these two books with the same author. So I'll say book dot set author of author. Sorry, instead of book, I'll say B. So B dot, so set author of author. And I'll also set the ID also, book dot set ID. Here what I'll do is I'll just say int counter equal to 1. And here I'll say counter. Then I'll say counter plus plus. Counter plus plus. Then I'll say session dot save of B. Save of B. Then I'll say session dot get transaction dot commit. So this is what I'm doing. So what I'm doing, I'm associating these two books to the same author. So first what I do, so basically these two books, okay, should be associated with author ID 100, right? So what I do, get the author object from database, because whose ID is 100. Whose ID is 100. So I get the author object. So once I get the author object, then I'll iterate over this array list. I'll say book string book title. I'll create a book object. So b dot set title of book title. B dot set author of this author object I'll give. Next b dot set ID of counter. Counter means initially 1. Okay, counter. So ID will be saved with one this record, this value. So this one. And then counter plus plus means again 1 plus 1 becomes 2. Session dot save of B. That means it will save the B. Again the next loop, counter becomes 2. Okay. See, if you see here this logic, So if you see the logic here, so now I got the author object whose primary key is 100. Now I'm creating one book object. So first I create this book object, okay? Programming in Java, I create book object, I set the title of it. Now I get a book object, okay, with this title, programming in Java. Then I'll associate the author object. Then I'll associate counter. What is your counter? One, initially one. So it will be one. Next counter plus plus will be 2 now. Now save of B, that means this book object will be saved to the database. Okay, it will convert to SQL query. Next, again, it will go to the next loop. Then it will take the second book. Second book, again, I'm creating a new book. Now book title will be now Spring and Hibernate. Next, author will be the same author. Now set ID of counter. Counter is how much? 2, right? Now here ID will be 1. Here ID will be 2 now. And I'm saving this book also. So this book is saved, this book is saved. Now let me run this program now. I'll show you. Right. So let me run this program. No identifier specific. Okay. This will be ID, right? At the rate ID, at the rate column. So what is a book table ID? ID, right? ID. Column name equal to ID. And then title. So your column will be title. Right? So I'll run the program now. Okay, I think it is saved. Let me now see. Select star from book. Now you see. Now you see this book ID 1, programming in Java, author ID is 100. That means whatever the author 100 is there, that is set here. And so book ID 2, whatever the Spring and Hibernate, whatever the author ID is there 100, whatever this value is there. That see, if you see here, I am not setting this author ID in the program. If you see here, if you see, I set the title value. I set the title value. I set the ID value, which is counter 1. But how come author ID has come? I set the object of this. Now this object, what it will do, if you go to your book object, so this author, what it will do, it will take this as the foreign, this is the join column, right? So in this join column, whatever the value that is there here, that gets inserted. So see, if you see here, what I'm doing, so in my, if you take book.java, so this is your, okay. Now you see, whatever book title is there, so that will go to this column name. If you see here, so this is from author table, right? And then, so this is from book table. Right? Right. Now what I have done, you see, what I have done. See what I have done, you see here. I set the title book, right? So the title has come here. The title has come here. I set the counter value. Counter value is 1, so 1 has come here. Next, I did not set 100. I set the author object. I did not set 100. So I set this author object here. Now this author object is associated with this column, right? This is your join column. And 100 has got it. How 100 has come? How 100 has come? Because I have retrieved the author object based on this primary key. So whatever, so I have retrieved this author object. I have actually got this author object from this primary key value. From this primary key value 100. So that is the reason whatever this value 100 is there. So this value will be inserted in both records. Okay. Suppose if your author is having more than one record, you have to specify that record. Suppose if your author is having one more record here, 101. Okay. Now then, suppose this 101 you have to associate with these two records. Then you have to give in place of 100, you should give 101. And that 101 will get inserted in these two records. So what is happening? So whenever I say set author of author, now the value that is, the value of the author ID, that means this is mapped to this join column. So this column now gets whatever the value that is present here, because this column is mapped to this column. So whatever the value that is part of this, that will be inserted here. Everyone understood? Now this is a many to one, right? This is many to one. So if you say many books are written by one author. And this author, if you want to get more details, you have to refer from this table. So that's why this is called join column. Okay. Different author, different book. If you need to set, I think you have to change the logic here. You have to change here. I have put for all this. You have to write separately. You have to create one book object. There you have to set author ID related to 100. Then you have to create one more book object. Then you have to set author to different author like that. Okay. See, for example, at the time what you have to do. So you have to create one book object. So book dot set author of, say you have to get author based on 100. Suppose I'll get one more author like this. Author 1. Okay. Set 101. Let us think like this. So now you will not have the for loop. Okay. You will not have for loop. Then what you will do? You will give some title here, programming in Java. Right. Programming in Java. Right. And then, right. So b dot set title, programming in Java. Then b dot set ID of counter 1. Okay. Then I can put like set ID of 1 here instead of counter plus. Then I'll save this one. Now I'll create one more book object. Book B1. So I'll give the title as Spring and Hibaernate. Now this time I'll associate the different author. That means I'll use author 1 here. Now author is associated with primary key 100. Author 1 is associated with 101. And I'll give a set ID of 2. Then I'll say session ID, session.save of. In this way, different book, different author. Any questions till now? Everyone clear? Everyone clear? ID must be new. This one, this two, right? Because I cannot have the same ID in two different, because it's a primary key. Okay, this is a primary key. Okay. So I'll stop this now because I don't have the author ID 101, right? I don't have that author ID. So I have only one author, this one. So I'll Just revert back this. You're clear? So, all right. So actually, I'll stop here. I have actually one urgent medical work I have to attend. I'll stop here. So till now, what we have seen? So we have seen this like one-to-one, many-to-one. We have seen. So next session we'll see one-to-many, one-to-many. Okay. So we have seen one-to-one and many-to-one. Next session we'll see one-to-one. So everyone understood many-to-one? Clear, right? Any doubts till now? Everyone clear? Sure. All right then. So you have to think join column means always remember one that is very, very important. When you are navigating from here to here, one-to-one, join column is the column that joins between these two tables. So when you're going from this to this. Now when you're going from book to author, join column is the one which joins these two. So this is your join column. So that is what join column. Okay, so I knew I'll share this screenshot. I'll just upload by today or tomorrow. I'll upload this. Okay, and I'll share you these programs also. So Monday, what I'll do is I'll explain you this one-to-many. So Monday I'll explain one-to-many and many-to-many both at a time. Okay, both I'll explain one at a time. So one book to many reviews and many-to-many. Right. So yeah. I'll just 1 minute. One-to-many or many-to-one. So I'll just zoom it. You are asking, right? Yeah. Take the screenshot. You have taken, right? All right. Okay then. Okay. So Monday we will see because I have to attend one. Okay then. So Monday we will see. Okay then. Thank you all. See you on Monday. Same day. Okay.